The first scream is for your hair. You don't even see it at first. You feel it. The familiar, comforting weight of your golden locks, the pride of your youth, is gone. In its place is a cold, slithering mass. It's heavier than you remember. And it's moving. A faint hissing sound fills the silence of the temple. You think it's the wind, but the sound isn't coming from outside. It's coming from you. You stumble towards a polished bronze shield left carelessly against a pillar. The shield of a goddess. Your goddess. You raise a trembling hand, not to your head, but to your reflection. And then you see it. They are not locks of gold. They are scales of green and black. Dozens of vipers, writhing, coiling, their tiny black eyes glittering, their forked tongues tasting the air. They are a part of you now. This is your new crown. The second scream never comes. It dies in your throat, petrified by the horror staring back at you. This is the moment your life ends, and this is the moment it truly begins. Before the snakes, before the stone, you are Medusa, and you are beautiful. You are born immortal to ancient sea deities, the youngest of three sisters. While your sisters Theno and Euryale are immortal gorgons, you are different. You are human, fragile, and breathtakingly lovely. Your skin is smooth, your eyes captivating, but it is your hair that poets write about. A cascade of shimmering gold that seems to capture the sunlight itself. You dedicate your life to Athena, the virgin goddess of wisdom and war. You become her priestess, a vow of chastity, your sacred promise. You find purpose in the quiet sanctity of her temple, the cool marble beneath your feet a constant comfort. You are devout, you are pure, but your beauty is a beacon. It draws moths to a flame, and in this world, the moths are men and gods. Their gazes follow you, hungry and persistent. You learn to lower your eyes, to make yourself small, to pray that your devotion to Athena will be your shield. It isn't. One god in particular will not be denied. Poseidon, lord of the sea, Athena's great rival. He desires you. He pursues you. You reject his advances, loyal to your vow, loyal to your goddess. But a god's pride is a fragile, dangerous thing. He corners you where you feel safest, in the hallowed halls of Athena's temple. You run, your bare feet slapping against the cold stone floor. You pray for your goddess to intervene, to protect her faithful servant. The only answer is the thunderous laughter of the sea god as he closes in. He takes you on the temple floor, an act of brutal dominance and sacrilege. It is a violation not just of your body, but of your faith, your vow, your very soul. When it's over, you lie broken on the marble, your white robe stained and torn. And that is when she appears. Athena. You look up, tears streaming down your face, expecting comfort, expecting justice. You receive judgment. Her face is a mask of cold fury, but her anger is not for Poseidon. He is a god, her equal, her rival, unchallengeable. Her rage is for you, for the desecration of her sacred space, for the breaking of your vow, no matter the circumstance. She sees your beauty, the very thing that drew Poseidon's eye, as the source of the crime. She sees your magnificent hair as a lure, and so she decides to take it all away. She doesn't strike you down. She does something worse. She curses you. She twists your beauty into a weapon of terror. Your hair, once the object of envy, writhes into a nest of venomous snakes. Your face, once a vision of loveliness, becomes a mask of such horror that a single glance will turn any living creature to stone. You are no longer a victim. In her eyes, you are the crime itself, and your punishment is to become a monster. You are exiled to a remote island at the edge of the world. SARPEDON, a fitting home for a monster. Your sisters, the true-born Gorgons, are there, but they cannot understand your grief. They were born this way. You were made this way. The first few months are a special kind of hell. You learn to live with the constant hissing in your ears. You learn the strange, cold weight on your scalp. You can't sleep, terrified the snakes might coil around your neck and choke you in the night. You avoid your own reflection, catching glimpses in pools of water and immediately turning away, nausea churning in your stomach. Your new companions are lively. They fight over scraps of food you leave out. They shed their skin on your pillow. It's a nightmare you can never wake up from. Then comes the first incident. A fisherman, lost in a storm, washes ashore. He sees you from a distance, a lone figure on the beach. He calls out, a voice filled with hope and relief. You turn, forgetting for a single blissful moment what you are. Your eyes meet his. He doesn't even have time to scream. His face freezes in an expression of pure terror. The color drains from his skin. The texture of his clothes becomes rigid, his body a perfect, lifeless statue. He stands there, forever reaching out for a salvation that you turn to stone. That is your first lesson. Your gaze is death. You are a walking plague. So you train. Your training isn't with a sword or a spear. It's a training of avoidance. You learn to walk with your head down, your eyes fixed on the ground. You learn to navigate your island by sound and touch. You learn to hunt by listening for the rustle of leaves, striking with a speed you never knew you possessed, your new instincts taking over. You learn the profound, crushing weight of absolute solitude. You are the sole inhabitant of an island populated by the ghosts of what you once were, and the statues of what you have become. Years pass, or maybe it's decades. Time loses its meaning. The grief never leaves, but it hardens, calcifies, much like your victims. The fear you felt turns into a cold, simmering rage. And then they start to come. Men, warriors, heroes. They hear tales of a monster, a prize to be won, a head to be taken for glory. They sail to your island, their shields polished, their swords sharp, their egos even sharper. They come for a monster, and a monster is what they find. The first one who arrives, you try to warn him. You scream from the shadows, "Go back! Leave this place!" He laughs, calling you a coward. He charges into your cave, sword held high. You look at him, and he becomes a permanent part of your island's decor. You stop warning them. Your island becomes a museum of male arrogance, a sculpture garden of would-be heroes. You learn their patterns, the brash ones who charge head first, the clever ones who try to sneak up on you, the ones who shout taunts into the darkness. They all end up the same, silent, still, permanent. You start arranging them. It passes the time. You put the particularly vain ones near the reflecting pools. You group the loud ones together, a silent chorus of frozen screams. It's a grim sort of art, but it's yours. This is your peak. Not a peak of happiness, but of power. You are no longer the weeping victim in Athena's temple. You are the queen of your stone kingdom. You are a force of nature. They call you a monster to justify their hunt, but you know the truth. You are a consequence. You are what happens when men and gods refuse to take responsibility. You are feared. And in a world that offered you no protection, fear is the only shield you have left. Then one day, a new one arrives. He's different. You sense it immediately. He doesn't blunder through the forest. He moves with an unnatural grace, an unsettling silence. He carries no bravado, only purpose. His name, you will never learn, is Perseus. He is just a boy, really, but he is not alone. You can feel the divine magic clinging to him like a shroud. He wears winged sandals that whisper through the air. He carries a sword forged by a god. He is invisible, hidden by a cap of darkness. And he carries a shield, a bronze shield, so polished it shines even in the gloom of your cave. You recognize the craftsmanship. It's Athena's. That is the final insult. The ultimate betrayal. The goddess who cursed you now arms the boy sent to kill you. She guides his hand. She shows him the way. You are tired. The rage that fueled you for so long has cooled to a weary ember. You have fought off dozens, maybe hundreds. But how do you fight a ghost? How do you fight a boy backed by the very gods who condemned you? You are in your cave, surrounded by your silent statues, your only companions. Your sisters are nearby. For the first time in a long time, you allow yourself to rest. You close your eyes. The snakes on your head grow quiet, their hissing softening to a gentle murmur. You sleep. You dream of golden hair and the warm sun on your face. You are woken by a shadow falling over you, but you don't open your eyes. You don't need to. You see him in the reflection. In the polished bronze of Athena's shield, you see the boy. His face a mask of fear and determination, his sword raised high. He isn't even looking at you. He's looking at an image of you, a distorted reflection of the monster they told him you were. He is killing a story, not a person. In that final moment, you don't feel anger. You don't feel fear. You feel a profound, bottomless pity. For him. For the hero who has to kill a sleeping woman to prove his strength. The blade is sharp. The cut is clean. There is no pain, only a sudden cold, and then release. As your head is severed from your body, a final, miraculous act of life erupts from the wound. From your neck springs Pegasus, a magnificent winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant with a golden sword, the children of the sea god who started it all, born from your death. A final, bitter irony. But you don't see this. Your consciousness lingers for a moment, trapped within your severed head. You are lifted, placed into a bag. Darkness. Your story should end here, but it doesn't. Your curse is too useful to be laid to rest. The boy, Perseus, uses your head as a weapon. He turns his enemies to stone, saves a princess, and secures his kingdom. Your power, the symbol of your suffering, becomes the tool of his heroism. You are reduced from a being to an object, a convenient plot device in his glorious tale. And when he is done with you, where does he take your head? He gives it back to Athena. The goddess who created the monster now takes the monster's head and places it upon her shield, the Aegis. Your face, frozen in its final moment of terror, becomes her symbol of power, a talisman to ward off her enemies. Your tragedy is repurposed as her triumph. Your pain is worn as her armor. You were a maiden who was wronged, a victim who was punished, a survivor who was hunted, and in the end, a trophy. Your name is remembered not for the life you lived, but for the monster they made you, and the hero who killed you. So, you tell me, in this whole story, who was the real monster?